Welcome, travelers of videos, to Something Spooky, a segment where I tell you all about how it is that I came to be the twisted abomination you see before you today.
Hey, speaking as an actual abomination, I find that offensive and distasteful.
Oh, abomination of nature. Some of us are abominable on the inside, where it's hidden away from people who judge and ridicule us. You ugly sack of shit.
Ooh.
Yeah, back to your hovel where you belong. Anyway, let me introduce you to the things that turned me onto horror, upon the path of gore and fear, and how it scarred and warped my mind. This is Discovering Darkness. Now, let's just start this off again by reminding people that fear is a very subjective thing. What scares me might not scare ye. Even more importantly, these things were not meant to literally scare the bejesus out of people. Well, I don't think they were. At least not to the level that they scared me. Picture this, me, a young child. It is the early 90s, and a family friend has gifted me a VHS tape. A Looney Tunes compilation. I hurriedly run over to the VCR, pop that sucker in, and feast my eyes upon such classics as Hunting Season, Genie Bugs, and Orchestral Bugs. But then, the next episode comes up, a Tweety and Sylvester episode, one that goes by the name of Hide and Go Tweet. A Looney Tunes take on the famous Jekyll and Hyde story. The introduction starts off joyously with lovely titles and music. But it doesn't take long for the Mr. Hyde segments to start. Already creeped out, I continued to watch. Soon, Tweety and Sylvester shenanigans start, as they always do. As my young eyes see the sweet little Tweety bird hide from Sylvester inside of a bottle of Jekyll's special formula, transforming the sweet, cute little bird into a monstrous and grotesque perversion of what it once was. And holy moly did I piss my little He-Man undies that day. I distinctly remember running away from the television and hiding behind the living room door, just to get away from the thing that Tweety had become. But there was something I didn't anticipate. Sure, my eyes were mostly spared from continuously seeing Tweety hide that day, but not my ears, as Tweety got a maniacal new laugh, something that keeps chiming in for the rest of the episode. And no matter where poor old Sylvester ran, Tweety Hyde was always close by, ready to scare and hurt Sylvester. Now sure, I could have simply gotten up and stopped the tape, or fast-forwarded through that episode, or heck, I could have turned the TV off. But no, young me just stood there, frozen, behind the living room door, not moving, not making a sound, for I was scared that Tweety Hyde would come and gobble me up, just like he did Sylvester. With family and friends knowing that I was quite the TV kid with the fondness of VHS tapes and cartoons, as most children are, one Christmas I was gifted a copy of The Little Mermaid. And no, it's not the nice, bright, and colorful one made by Disney.
Pathetic.
But was instead the 1975 Reader's Digest version. Now, at first glance, there was nothing untoward about it. The art was simplistic, but more than adequate for a kid whose favorite cartoon at the time was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. But I think the foreboding started with the narrator, Richard Chamberlain, who spoke with a tone of absolute sadness to my young ears.
And helped by the girls, he left the beach. No tears came to her eyes, for mermaids cannot cry, and she vowed to return there until she caught another glimpse of him.
Even when speaking of happy and charming things,
her grandmother had told her that a shadow passing over it could be a ship from the world of human beings. How the little mermaid longed to see it for herself.
But if you are at all familiar with the original Hans Christian Andersen version of Little Mermaid, you know that the charm is only scale deep. Not long into the animation, the Little Mermaid travels to meet the Sea Witch. And instead of a simple undersea cave with eel sidekicks, the Sea Witch lives in a place of untold horrors, boiling mud, and a lighthouse. A lighthouse made of the bones of shipwrecked sailors.
Look at the bones!
The witch herself is quite skeletal with sunken eyes, or maybe even no eyes at all. Here it wasn't one single thing that scared me, but rather the entire atmosphere of the whole story. Everything about it just depressed and saddened and upset me and made young me feel like my abominable little friend here. Even the quote-unquote happy parts just darken the moods and just make you feel for the Little Mermaid. Oh, maybe that's why I love The Cure so much now.
What I meant was by hang, it was a figure of speech. It's an old English word for touching yourself lovingly. Ecstasy. I'm going to go to my bedroom and hang myself.
And don't get me started on the ending, because now I have a fear of becoming an angelic slave if I die.
And if for 300 years you strive with us to care for the children of the earth, you will truly receive the soul you have suffered so much for.
Bound to help ungrateful earthlings for all times. Because if I cry too much and smile too little, my sentence of guardian angeling will simply get extended by the powers that be.
Now, when a child is bad, the daughters of the air shed tears, and for each tear a day is added to their term of trial. But when a child is good, they smile, and a year is taken from their time on earth.
Now, I was never a fan of Full House. I wasn't even that aware of when it was on TV. At that young age, I cared very little for anything like it. But one day, while visiting my grandmother, I caught one snippet of an episode. The most of Full House I have ever seen in my entire life, still to this day. I believe that this core memory of the show is the reason I never wanted to watch it. I can't even sincerely tell you what the episode is about in its entirety, as I absolutely refuse to watch the show. But thankfully, I found clips of the segment online which, in all honesty, is kinda weird. What I saw as a young child was a young girl, one of the Olsen twins, walking into their family kitchen dressed as a clown. Now, don't get ahead of me here, I'm not afraid of clowns. In fact, I kinda love clowns, and also don't believe the vast majority of people who claim to have a coulrophobia. Hello, my name is Beyond Normal, and my unpopular opinion is, thanks to the media, it became just a bit too trendy and easy to say clowns are creepy and spooky. I mean, look at Bozo's eyes and honestly tell me if he is creepy or not. I rest my case. But we're getting sidetracked here. An Olsen twin walks into the kitchen dressed as a clown, and after she takes her shoes off, we see her feet are disproportionately gigantic.
Mercy.
And that they keep growing and growing and growing.
They're out of control. Run for your life.
With the family fleeing for safety and also abandoning the Olsen girl. Now in hindsight, I think this was probably the first bit of body horror I ever saw. I think. But it wasn't just that scared me. It was the double whammy of a human body getting sort of disfigured, but also of her family simply running away for their own safety, leaving her to simply panic and keep growing and growing and growing and growing. I mean, it was all just a dream in the end, but still. So there you have it. 3 unsettling, spooky things I bared witness to in my youth. How about you guys? Did Tweety High traumatize any of you? Or was that a personal, unintentional nightmare feel for just me? If you are new to Beyond Normal, first of all, where have you been all this time? Second of all, normally I do horror and horror-adjacent reviews on this channel, so why not treat yourself to one of those videos? And if you like this somewhat different video, why not let me know if you would like to hear more of the things that scared past me? But for now, that is all, and I hopefully will see you again soon.